Hello guys, this is my updated Paradox character theme deck profile featuring his legacy support. As you guys know, Paradox is the time-traveling villain from the Yu-Gi-Oh movie Bonds Beyond Time. In the movie, he uses a Malefic deck, which is the archetype of good monsters, evil counterparts. Paradox receives the Malefic deck from his messed up future. Let's talk about the deck. Malefic Truth Dragon. This is Paradox's main boss monster of the deck. He special summons this card. In the duel against Yugi Jaden and Yusei after Yugi destroys Malefic Paradox Dragon with Dark Magician, which allows Paradox to special summon this via its own effect after activating Malefic Paradox Shift, which is a trap card not printed in real life. So this is Paradox's main boss monster. On to the next monster, Malefic Stardust Dragon. At the beginning, sort of at the middle / beginning of the movie, Paradox steals the original Stardust Dragon from Yusei Fudo's timeline, hoping to use it against Pegasus to destroy him. Paradox used this in the duel against Yugi Jaden and Yusei. He special summons this by sending the original Stardust Dragon to the graveyard. Then, later on in the duel, he special summons this back from the graveyard via the effect of Malefic Divide. This is good because it prevents your opponent from destroying your field spell. I have 2 for consistency. On to the next monster. Malefic Blue Eyes White Dragon. Excuse me. Malefic Blue Eyes White Dragon. At some point not shown in the movie, Paradox goes back in time and steals the original Blue Eyes White Dragon. Excuse me. At some point not shown in the movie, Paradox goes back in time and steals the original Blue Eyes White Dragon from Kaiba in Yugi's era. Paradox uses this card against Yugi, Yusei, and Jaden, searching it from his deck due to the effect of Malefic Selector. He attempts to attack Dark Magician Girl, but he misses and attacks Dark Magician, successfully destroying it. You need to have Malefic World out on the field to keep this card in play, but in the anime, Paradox didn't have to. I have 2 for consistency. And the original Blue Eyes White Dragon, which I just talked about. Okay, on to Malefic Red Eyes Black Dragon. Just like the same with Malefic Blue Eyes White Dragon, at some point but not shown in the movie, Paradox goes back in time and steals Red Eyes Black Dragon from Joey Wheeler in Yugi's era. Paradox uses this card against Jaden, Yugi, and Yusei by searching it due to the effect of Malefic Selector. He special summons this card by sending the original Red Eyes, which is here, to the graveyard and attempts. He special summons this card by sending the original Red Eyes from his hand to the graveyard and attempts to attack Yugi's Dark Magician Girl, but fails to. In the anime movie, Paradox didn't have to banish it from his graveyard, special summon it, but for the real life printed effect, you have to banish the original Red Eyes Black Dragon from your deck. I have 2 for consistency. Same with Red Eyes Black Dragon. On to the next monster, Malefic Cyber End Dragon. And just like Blue Eyes and Red Eyes, at some point not shown in the movie, Paradox steals Cyber and Dragon from Zane Truesdale and Jaden's era. Paradox uses this card against Yugi, Jaden, and Yusei, and special summons it by sending the original Cyber and Dragon to the graveyard. Paradox uses Malefic Cyber and Dragon to destroy Yusei's Junk Gardener. Its real-life Princess effect, you have to banish the original Cyber and Dragon from your extra deck to the graveyard to special summon Malefic Cyber and Dragon. Depending on what kind of character deck your opponent uses, it's not very easy to destroy. To the next one, Malefic Rainbow Dragon. Just like Blue Eyes, Red Eyes, and Cyber and Dragon, at some point, not shown in the movie, Paradox steals Jesse Anderson's Rainbow Dragon from him in Jaden's era. So before the duel, Paradox is time hopping in the different eras of Yugi, Jaden, and Yusei, stealing Pacific cards from their rivals and friends. Let's say, oh, in the duel, Paradox special summons this by sending the original Rainbow Dragon from his deck or hand to the graveyard. This card is actually destroyed in the duel against. This card is actually destroyed in the duel by Jaden's Neo Sniped. On to the next monster, Malefic Parallel Gear. Paradox uses this card against Yugi, Jaden, and Yusei. He normal summons it after special summoning Malefic Stardust Dragon, then tunes this, which is a level 2 and level 8 Malefic Stardust Dragon to synchro summon the level 10 Malefic Paradox Dragon. He then later banishes Malefic Parallel Gear and Malefic Cyber End Dragon via the effect of Malefic Selector. I have 3 for consistency. To the next one, Malefic Paradox Gear. This is Paradox's new legacy support that came out this year in the 20th anniversary set for the OCG. We didn't get it in English yet. This card makes it easier to go into Malefic Paradox Dragon just as Paradox did in the movie, because you contribute it. Well, if a field spell is face up on the field, you contribute this special summon Malefic Parallel Gear from your deck. Then it allows you to add a Malefic monster from your deck to your hand, except itself. Then, if you have banished a monster to special summon a Malefic monster from your hand using its procedure, you can banish this card instead. So, for example, if you had Malefic Red Eyes Black Dragon in your hand and you had already Red Eyes Black Dragon in your graveyard, you could banish this instead to special summon Red Eyes Black Dragon. So this allows you to special summon your Malefic monsters just in case their good counterparts are already in the graveyard. So this is very, very good Paradox Legacy support. Definitely fits his theme for sure. Alright, on to the spells, Malefic World. This card is based around Paradox's whole strategy. He uses this card, which allows him to skip his draw phase to add a random Malefic monster from his deck to his hand. Its real-life printed effect is similar, but you have to choose 3 Malefic cards from your deck. and your opponent has to choose one of them at random to add to your hand. So the easiest way to use this card is choose 3 of the same malefic card, so your opponent has no choice but to choose that card and you get any malefic card. On to the legacy support, Malefic Territory. This is also Paradox's new legacy support that came out in the 20th anniversary legendary set for the OCG. It allows you to do 3 things. One is activate Malefic World directly from your deck. 2 is it protects your Malefic World from being targeted by card effects. And 3, it changes the effect. It changes the one effect of Malefic World to there cannot be face-up Malefic monsters on the field with the same name instead of there can only be one face-up Malefic monster on the field. This is great. This is great because it allows you to summon multiple Malefic monsters with different names, just as Paradox did in the movie. But during the battle phase, their effects are negated, which is fine. This card is awesome and perfectly fits the Paradox theme. On to the next. Malefic Selector. Paradox uses this also in the movie against Yugi Jaden and Yusei. He uses it to search Malefic Red Eyes, Black Dragon, and Malefic Blue Eyes, White Dragon by banishing Malefic Parallel Gear and Malefic Cyber End Dragon. This card is good because it helps you search for the Malefic cards you need. I have 3 for consistency. In order to make the deck work, you have to add a little bit of consistency to it in order to make it work the way you want to. Next is Malefic Divide. This spell Paradox uses against Yugi Jaden and Yusei to revive his Malefic Stardust Dragon. So it's kind of like a one-turn only monster reborn for Malefic monsters. Swords of Revealing Light. Paradox doesn't have much protection or stall cards, so I thought this, Mirror Force, and Negate Attack would be good additions, using my own creativity to give Paradox protection. Well, to give Paradox some sort of protection. Pot of Greed. Every character used this card in the Duel Monsters era and the GX era. So I figured it fits Paradox perfectly and give the deck some draw power. Magical Mallet. This is actually a card used by Chaz, but it also fits Paradox because you only have um because you only have 3 Malefic territories and 3 Malefic selectors and 3 Malefic worlds. You may not always get to um be able to have the combo you need in your hand. So Magical Mallet allows you to have a chance, at doing that in case you have a dead hand or a hand that's not gonna work, for the turn. You use this, shuffle it back, so it gives you a chance to get the cards that you need. I have 2 for consistency. Alright. Malefic Claw Stream onto the traps. Paradox uses this against Yugi, Jaden, and Yusei. He activates this card to destroy Jaden's Neos Knight since he had a Malefic monster on the field, which was Malefic Paradox Dragon. This helped Paradox with monster removal. To the next trap. Malefic Tune. Paradox uses this card against Yugi Jaden and Yusei. After Jaden Neos Knight destroys Malefic Cyber End Dragon, Paradox activates this card to draw. Activates this to draw 2 cards. This helps Paradox with draw power and search ability if a Malefic monster or monsters is destroyed by a card effect. While this is in your graveyard, I have 2 for consistency. Mirror Force and Negate Attack are protection cards that I added to the deck using my own creativity because Paradox had a lack of protection cards. Malefic Paradox Dragon. This is, I wouldn't call this an ace monster, but it's like kind of like his signature monster, but not his ace monster. Paradox uses this in the movie. He uses this card to revive. He uses this cards to revive Usage Stardust Dragon, and then uses its anime effect to decrease Jaden's Neos Knight by the attack points of the monster he revived. Then he attempts to destroy Neos Knight, but Jaden counters with the trap hero barrier to prevent his monster's destruction. And I just talked about Stardust Dragon, how Paradox stole this from Yusei's timeline. And I just talked about Cyber End Dragon when I was talking about Malefic Cyber Dragon, how Paradox, even though it wasn't showed in the movie, it was implied, very much implied, and proven that he took this from Zane Truesdale in Jaden's era. What was I gonna say? As far as weaknesses of the deck, since this is a character deck, it's not gonna have much spell or trap removal, so you kind of have to work with what you have. But I mean, even so, the deck isn't really, from a character deck perspective, it's not really an easy deck to get rid of. I played with it. It's actually very, very, very fun, and I believe it represents Paradox, pretty well, and that was my goal of this deck, to represent Paradox, how his deck was used in the movie, and the new support Malefic Territory. Just just took the deck to a whole new level as far as a character anime deck perspective, and made it slightly even more powerful, than it was, and it has some built-in protection. So guys, I hope you enjoyed my Paradox character themed deck, and look forward to more character decks on my channel.